and you were and maybe still consider yourself an addict. Do you still say you are an addict or were an addict?
The language that I like is that I say that I am an addict, and or I'll say I'm a recovering addict. I mean, to make it clear, but it's a good distinction, and I appreciate you noticing that, because I mean, it is I have my joke is always, I have friends who are Marines, right? And you don't ever say former Marine or ex-Marine. You might say retired Marine, but like once you're a Marine, you're always a Marine. And and I take the lead there when it comes to addiction recovery. I'm always going to be an addict, and it's part of who I am. And quite frankly, I wouldn't. I've embraced it to such a degree that I wouldn't change it, even if I had the opportunity to. If I could suddenly become a normal drinker or drug user, recreationally, I would never take that path, because it's become so much a part of just who I am, this recovering person, and all the things that go with the addictive nature that I have. If I can use my powers for good, it's a life that I never could have imagined.
Mm-hmm. So take us back to that person, because looking at you now, you're the picture of health. You've accomplished all this these amazing athletic endeavors. Take us back to when you were in college, when it first started rearing its head. Who were you then, and what were you doing?
Yeah, I mean, it's really when I went to college, I was a 17-year-old freshman. I went to University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill, so a big school, and I had been student body president in high school, and, tops in my class, and I played a lot of sports and dated a few cheerleaders, and, and I was the man, right? And so I go to college, and I fully expect that, I'm going to get that same sort of treatment there. And it took about a minute to realize that I was very average, and that, in fact, there were 4,000 other freshmen there with me who had the same credentials. They had, and I didn't realize how needy I was, in the sense of needing to feel special. And suddenly I didn't have that. And I grew up an only child, and I mean, my parents are both addicts, and like I come by my addiction very honestly. And what I figured out was that I was I may no longer be the standout in sports or a lot of other areas, but I was a first team All-American drinker, and I could drink more than anyone else. And it literally became part of my identity. And the drinking age was 18 years old. I'm old enough that I was right on that cusp in the early 80s when all the ages were changed to 21. And we find our identities in strange ways. Sometimes we create it, and other times it creates us. And in my case, I found that I wanted to be invisible. Since I was no longer a superstar, so to speak, I wanted to be invisible, and the best way I could do that was with drugs and alcohol.
So thank you so much for tuning in today. If we helped you in any way, then click the subscribe button and let's keep hanging out together. We have so much more to share with you.
And if you need more information on actually making the switch for good, please visit us at switchforgood.org for loads of info. And you can subscribe to our mailing list, where you will receive all sorts of super cool gifts, discount codes to our very fave dairy-free products, and a lifetime of powerful health tips.
So join us on the journey to switch for good. This is the future.